So if you put a gun to my head and told me I had to start a social media marketing business today and I had to get clients as soon as possible, I'd actually probably start with UpWork. That's where I'd spend a lot of my time to get clients. Now, I know what you might be thinking, because this is exactly what I thought back in 2019 when I started. I thought UpWork was just a place where you'd find, lower cost freelancers that could do things like graphic design and video editing from lower cost countries. And that was it. Those were the only types of people on the platform and the only types of business owners were looking to work with them. I didn't think there'd be any opportunity for you to get social media marketing clients, especially those clients that would pay you $500, $1,000, or even $2,000 per month. Now, I didn't know it at the time, but when I used the platform back in 2019, I was completely wrong because I tried UpWork. I applied to 1 or 2 jobs on the platform and I decided it wasn't for me. I then continued to use UpWork, but I used it to hire those lower cost freelancers that I could outsource some work to in my agency. If I could go back in time, I would slap myself because giving up on UpWork after 1 or 2 proposals was probably a very big mistake I made. I still figured out a way to get clients. I used Instagram and other mediums to contact business owners and essentially get clients that way. But UpWork now just makes it easier. I'm not affiliated or sponsored by UpWork. Maybe if they were interested, I'd have a conversation because at this point, I've given them probably a lot of business. So in this video, I'll walk you through how I would use UpWork and why it actually makes sense for you. Before I do that, let me just show you some proof of why UpWork actually works. All right, this is Aoife who sent me a win today for €400 a month from UpWork. Yesterday, she sent me a win for $1,200 a month from UpWork. Kieran sent me 2 new wins, so 2 new clients at $300 a month each. So that's an extra $600 a month he's going to make from, guess what? UpWork. All right. And you're going to see a lot of the people I work with use UpWork to get clients. Tom got his first client for about $580 USD, and that was from UpWork. Mina recently hit 10K a month, getting probably most, I think about 80% of her clients through UpWork. So one of the first reasons I would use UpWork to get social media marketing clients is the AIDA advantage. Are you familiar with the AIDA equation? If not, I'll explain. There's this one concept I learned at college that actually helped me with marketing, and it's called the AIDA framework. When you look at the market of business owners that might need your help with social media marketing, we can kind of think of it like a funnel. At the bottom of the funnel are those that are ready to pay, right? People that are interested, have desire to work with you, and actually have the budget and will pay you money. And so the funnel goes up like this. And so at the very, very top, we have the people that are not even really aware that they should put money into social media marketing. And so that is the AIDA equation. It goes awareness, interest, desire, and action, getting smaller at each stage. So there's obviously less business owners down here at the very bottom that are ready and willing to pay you money, and those at the desire stage, aka not 100% ready to pay you today, but have a desire too. So you might be able to convince them pretty quickly. When we look at the people that are on UpWork, the business owners that are posting jobs, where do you think they fall in that funnel, in that framework? They don't fall up here at the very top where it's purely just being aware of social media. They fall quite down at the bottom in the desire and action category. This is why it makes sense, because you're selling to people that already want your help. Sounds good, right? People that are raising their hand saying, hey, I need help with social media marketing. You apply and explain why you might be the best fit for them. This is why some of those people I just showed you there get clients week in, week out, and really quickly after joining my program, get clients because the demand is there. We're not spending time trying to convince people and kind of push them through a long sales process. They're already there waiting for your help. And even if you're a complete beginner, you've never done this before, there's still a very straightforward, easy to implement way for you to appear like you are the best fit. Even though you're not going to be the cheapest, there's always going to be people cheaper than you. And there's also going to be people with more experience than you. But again, there's a straightforward way of still getting those clients. Tom, who I showed you in that video, who got that first client for $580 US per month, complete beginner. Now, another reason why it makes sense to use UpWork is that you can kind of just filter out the time wasters. You're not going to be speaking with a lot of people that are kind of aware, maybe 1 foot in, 1 foot out, kind of interested. No, you're pretty much only going to speak to people that are fully interested, 2 feet in, ready to commit a budget and actually make a decision about their social media this week. The timeline is incredibly short with UpWork. It's very common that somebody posts a job within a week. within 2 days, sometimes even within one day, they have the position filled, hired, and that's that, done. But it also means for the business owner that posts a job today and doesn't find somebody who is what they think is the right fit for them, they may come back to the platform, which is why you're still not really wasting time with time wasters. Because even those that don't respond back to you right away might come back to you in a week or 2 weeks when they figure out that everybody else who applied, they're not the right fit, hence they come back to you. You see, the competition on Upwork is, I'm trying to say this politely, it's pretty low. It's not of that high of a standard, which is good. But there's also a really high standard on Upwork. Let me explain. So when you're setting up your profile on Upwork, you have this little section where you fill out your hourly rate. Now, let's say you're from Ireland, like me, and you might be working a 9 to 5, making 40 grand, 50 grand a year. You might be thinking that you should put your hourly rate as 30, 40, 50 an hour, right? Because that's what you ideally want to get paid if you were to trade your time for money. But by doing that, you will be in the category of people on Upwork who are very experienced. The people that have built up their track record, loads of proof on the platform, have maybe done this for a couple of years, and hence they can charge that amount. There's people in my program that sign clients that pay them incredibly well, $1,000, $2,000 a month. But if you were to look at my students' profile on Upwork, you'll notice that their hourly rate isn't $30, $40, or even $50 an hour. It's way lower. It might be less than 20, sometimes around $10 to $15 an hour. And there's cases where people have done incredibly well, going as low as $5 an hour. And that's because that right there is going to price you out of certain jobs, and it's going to put you into the bucket of people who have loads of experience. So by pricing lower, let's say your hourly is $12.95 per hour, you're going to be in the bracket of people, business owners, that know they can't afford the top tier talent with loads of experience, but that have to settle for somebody that's got less experience. You're probably starting to see how this works, because the people that have more experience than you will price themselves out of that, so they can't apply to those jobs. So you're left competing with the people that are lower cost. You will be up against a lot of people that might be from countries that don't speak English, that don't have a good level of fluency, and that is one way where you're going to stand out. A US-based business owner probably wants to work with someone who's fluent English and can communicate easily with them over a Zoom call or a phone call. And if you want to be really smart about this, you can even pair with a freelancer on Upwork. Let's say you find a graphic designer on the platform that's got loads of proof. They're not too expensive. Maybe they'll charge you $5 to $10 per graphic that they create for your clients. Well, you could partner with them and say, hey, look, can I showcase some of your work to the people that I speak to, just to kind of give them an idea of what I can do for them. Now, all of a sudden, you can kind of price yourself in on the lower range using the experience of someone that's got the experience, and it's a win-win because you're the one who's the fluent English speaker, who's probably going to be able to communicate better with clients. They're the person that can deliver the technical experience, the technical knowledge the client needs. We put the two together, everybody is happy. And lastly, a lot of people just don't put a lot of effort in on Upwork. So they'll copy and paste and ChatGPT very generic responses to business owners, which, just signals that you're not really that interested in the job. So the people in my program that are getting the best results, like I showed you there, Aoife got 2 clients in the last 2 days. She's putting in time making sure that her proposal looks unique, looks like she actually read the job post and didn't just copy and paste it. It's not magic, but by following a few key parts of the blueprint, she can get clients quite easily each week. And finally, one of the reasons Upwork can work incredibly well long-term for you and give you clients kind of just on repeat is that if you earn money through the platform and you deliver a good service and you get some good reviews, Upwork will start to favor your profile. They'll push your profile out there. You'll be recommended. You'll even start getting invited to jobs. When a business owner posts a job, they have this section, once they've posted it, to start inviting candidates to the job. You will start appearing in that, not at the very start, because you've no proof on the platform. So you'll just have to hustle your way there. Once you do get there, you're going to be able to get that invitation. You're going to get those people coming to your profile, specifically looking to work with you. That's why it works really well short term for you to just get quick wins, because you can deal with people that are actually interested and willing to pay for social media services right now. And long term, because you can build that proof through the platform, build a good name for yourself and have clients come to you. Now, Upwork is not the only way to get clients. Don't get me wrong. You can still get clients using Instagram, using LinkedIn, cold email, cold calls, and many other methods. It's just if you had a gun to my head and told me you have to get clients as soon as possible, that's where I would go. And that's where I'd put a lot of my focus that I and my agency actually didn't do. and I went with those other methods that worked, but it took me longer to see results. Now, there's a very right and wrong way to do Upwork. And with my students, as you've seen that I've shown you at the start of this video, we spend a lot of time making sure they have the exact blueprint, and then we coach them through that process to make sure they're actually getting results. In fact, I just wrapped up an interview yesterday in our community with Logan, who did 20,000 this month with Upwork. So if you want to build a social media marketing business and you don't want to just half-ass it and guess and hope it works out, but you want to make sure it does work, you might want to consider working with myself or somebody else out there. If you want to work with me, you can see there's information in the description of this video on how you can get started with that process and how I can show you all the ropes. It's not just a course, I mentor you one-on-one. So click the link below and I'll see you soon.